There we go. Well, today is day 8, and we're going to talk about getting referrals. And more specifically, I was going over this today. More specifically, I wanted to go over how to meet with clients, to get referrals and build relationships, and more about meeting with clients, meeting with special people in your lives, people that give you referrals or may give you referrals, and also networking with other businesses in your area, in your market, to get referrals. So we're going to be more about relationship building today, because building a relationship with people gets those referrals, not just on a personal note, but also on a business note too. So that's why I wanted to go over things that you could do to meet with people, to show them. And it kind of goes along with what I talked about the other day of going the extra, doing the unexpected extras. When you are not specifically asking for business from them. So what I mean by that is when you're meeting with, and the things we're going to go over today, when you're meeting with people that are not looking to buy or sell a house now, or building a relationship or continuing on a relationship with a past client past their sale, or meeting with business people in your area that are not actively looking to buy or sell now, your ultimate goal is to get referrals from them, but they know you're not actively looking for business from them. Like you're taking them to lunch or buying them a cup of coffee or having a business mixer. Those are kind of the topics we're going to talk about today, and getting something directly from them. Like they're not going to be using your service. So that's one of the things that I love about building relationships with people in real estate, is that because we're not convincing them to buy something now, you really can show them the unexpected extras that you really want to build a relationship with them, so you will be available for their referrals of people that they know. And one of the reasons why I want to go into business mixers and business ideas and networking with business, that it could be a two-way street. Referrals to them, referrals to you, and a win-win for everybody. So today, what I really wanted to start with, the 3 kind of topics is kind of meeting with people. And it sounds funny, but a lot of this is from 2 different places. One, Tom Ferry coaching, and 2, Brian Buffini coaching, and a little bit of Mike Ferry coaching too. So I kind of took a little bit of these things from their coaching things that they teach, and I really kind of came up with ideas on, it sounds funny, about how to ask people to a cup of coffee, how to have a breakfast with somebody, and also how to have a business mixer and bring a networking event with other businesses. Because some very good, successful agents have business mixers, a networking event. You might see some agents on their Facebook that are in groups that are already set up, like BNI is one, and there's other networking groups, but you could do that yourself and set that up yourself. So we're going to go into that. But first today, I just want to say one of the simplest things, and I won't keep you too long today, is really spending the time to have a cup of coffee or invite someone to sit down and just catch up with people. If it could be a past client, someone that's referred you business, or if you don't have any past clients or someone's referred you business, if you're new, just some people in your life that are special to you that that will refer you or use you in the future. So just that simple thing of spending the time, that hour that you spend with that person, a person that's in your A+ network of people in your database, is worth its weight in gold. Just that time. Because what's time? Time is money, of course, but the amount of time to sit down for a cup of coffee, and kind of what I was going through the other day was, it's an invite. So even if they say no or can't do it, the invite opens up to possible referrals, and it's a reason to call them. So some of the things they want to think about when grabbing a cup of coffee with somebody is one, it's just coffee. It's very easy to do in the morning, and look at those A+ people, and really look back at those special people that in your life and or past clients, because you value their relationship. And the main thing that you can do is do the all three connections. You could call them, you could email them, you could text them, and schedule the call. And I came up a little script. Well, it's more of a dialogue of things to say. So again, outside of this video today, if you want the exact script, I'll be happy to type it out, email, text it to you, and or we could talk about it, and you feel free to call me and I'll go through this so you can write it down. But it's more of a dialogue. You kind of got to make it your own, so it's not an exact script. But here's some of the things to say when you're inviting someone to a cup of coffee. And it's as simple as, good morning, John. This is Tony with, and again, fill it in, from Century 21 Homestar, from whatever real estate company you're with, or you could just say Tony because they know who you are. And just checking in to say hello, and just want to see how you've been, and would wonder if you had time for a quick cup of coffee. I know I've been so busy in the real estate market and I want to catch up with the important people in my life. And sometimes I get caught up in work that I don't have time to do that. Would you be interested in grabbing a quick cup of coffee with me? And then once they say yes or no, basically this is the really key part of it is that, please feel free to pick a date and time that works best for you. We could meet at here or here, give some options of where you are. And then really the key is putting it in the schedule and explaining to them, I need to put it into my schedule. I don't know about you, but with me, I need to put it in my schedule. So make sure it's done, because my day gets away from me sometimes. So the whole point of some of the dialogue in the script is to say, one, you're introducing yourself to them, depending upon how long it's been, to explaining to them that they're important to you and you want to spend the time with them. Imagine someone inviting you to a cup of coffee. Time is valuable to most people. If they want to spend the time with you, and in real estate, again, kind of what I was saying earlier, they know, especially if it's a past client, hey, you just bought a house with them a year ago. They know you're not buying again. So it's not a sales call. It's just really a catching up with that. So obviously, like say if you're selling insurance or investments or some other type of service, they might think of this as a complete sales call, and I don't want to meet with this person because then they're going to sell me on what they do. People like that. I mean, that's their job and that's what they do. But in real estate, really, and they might say something to that effect. I'm not looking to buy or sell a house. I'm like, no, really, I really just want to catch up with the important people in my life, the people that I want to spend time with, and then I just get busy with my day in the market and business. I want to set the time aside for you. Would you like to have a cup of coffee? And give them options, give them times. Don't let them pick. You don't want to sit there, well, where do you want to meet? And go through one of those, kind of like when you do with your spouse or significant other, like, where do you want to go eat? Where do you want to go? And go back and forth. You want to give them some options on that and kind of be a little bit in control of that. But the main point of asking someone to coffee is, again, that they're important to you. You want to spend time with them. You just want to catch up with them. But during that time, when you get them to that quick cup of coffee, well, let me jump back. When you're talking with them and scheduling that coffee, you got to keep it short. This is just an invitation. This is not the time to talk, because if you talk too much, like, hey, how things been going? I know it's so easy to, because you got each other on the phone. You might have to say, yeah, hey, I'm just making a quick call in between. I have another appointment very soon, but I was just thinking of you. And, I got an appointment in 5 minutes. I just wanted to call you. Let's set up a time so we could catch up. Because if you start catching up during that call, what are you going to talk about when you have the coffee? What do you talk about? And also, you want to limit your time. This is just an invitation. This is just the beginning. So again, this is part of the dialogue, not the script. And what you could say is like, listen, I was thinking of you, quick call, just want to set this up so we can meet very quick, on and off the phone, hopefully quickly, just to boom, boom, boom. So you have the time and the things to talk about. But the point when you get to that coffee, of course, your whole goal by the end is to remind them that you would like their referrals, but you also want to build a relationship with them. Things, again, things that you could ask them and listen. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth to listen twice as much as talk. So you're supposed to be listening about them and what's going on in their lives and hobbies and just tips that you give yourself of things that connect with them over time. So I know some of this was in yesterday's class that you missed, but you'll see the video. Oh, asking questions about their lives and things that you could remember. So when you ask those questions, try to make mental notes or even write notes. I mean, some people might enjoy seeing that you write a note about their life, like, oh, wow, yeah, you like golf. I like golf too. I'm going to write myself a note that, next time I see a golf outing or see something come up about golf, I'll remember that and include you in it. Information you might want to know, or if they like something that you like, just anything that you could think of. You got to be quick with maybe writing notes, or at least meet a mental note that you're going to write this down. And one of the examples that I remember hearing was Brian Buffini gave this example, is that he said that he had a client past client that he did this with, had coffee with. And again, this is an example, and it just stuck with me for many, many, many years, is that during their conversation of just talking about their lives, this past client told them how at the time they were about to become empty nesters. Their youngest child was going to college, and they were about to go to college next year, and preparing them, their son, to the last year of high school, getting into college, and how they were going to deal with him and his wife on being empty nesters. So obviously the agent wrote this down or made a mental note of that. And I think it was Brian Buffini himself, and then when he went home that day, wrote a personal note to that client and said something to the effect like, I totally understand. I have children too. They're going away from college, but here are some books that helped me through those times. And it was a book about how to help your child acclimate to college, their first year of college, and also how to changes of life and how to go from children to being an empty nester, and things that you can do as a couple, as a husband and wife, or the relationship type book, and sent that to that person. And when he sent that person just at the time became like his number one referral source for the next couple of years, because he connected with him on an emotional level. So the whole point of me telling you that is that while you are talking to people, they're going to talk about their lives. And when you get back to your office, your home office, wherever you're at, after having something, the number one thing you want to do is write a personal note. This is a time for a personal note. You write down something like, thank you for your time. It's great catching up with you. And if there's anything in your notes that you could send them, or to remind them like, hey, I'm going to thinking of you. I'll definitely keep you in mind for any future golf outings that I have, if they're into golf or cooking, or sending them a book or something like that. And then also, if you go to a coffee place or a place that they enjoy too, maybe they pick the place like, hey, I want to go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or Panera, wherever. You give them choices, and they go, hey, I like Panera coffee. You go there and they order a coffee. Maybe you give them a gift card. So maybe $5, $10, you give them a gift card, depending upon how much the coffee costs, and say, hey, I enjoyed having a coffee with you at Dunkin' Donuts. Hey, here's a coupon, or here's a gift card. Enjoy your next coffee on me. It was great catching up with you. So these things that I'm saying to you sound so easy when you have a kind of a salesman type mentality, but so many agents don't do these things because they don't think they don't think investing the time with people is worth the reward. And I promise you, it's worth the reward. It is, because you're doing the unexpected extras that no one else is doing. You're not asking them for anything from them. You're just going to say at the end of every meeting and reminder something to the fact that, hey, remember, I'm never too busy for your referrals, or something to that sort, that you are open for business. Now, the other thing, that reason why this helps is this: these people that are in your life that will refer you to other people will remember you're in business, but sometimes they need a refresher. And it could be a call, could be a text. That's why we follow up with people. But this, of course, puts it way on top of mind, because they're with you for an hour time. You're treating them coffee, you're talking about other things. So it keeps it up on top of mind more. Does that make sense? Than a voicemail or a quick text. And it's kind of like, if you ever, anytime you had a new car, or you ever think like you're going on a vacation or something that's on top of your mind, then all of a sudden you start seeing it everywhere. It's kind of like, I know, like you buy a new car, then all of a sudden everywhere you go, you're like, there's another one of my cars. There's another one. There's another one. They're popping up all over the place. But I bet you maybe heard this before, is that no, those cars were there before, but until you bought it, now your mind, your brain is looking for it, either consciously or unconsciously. Kind of like if you're planning a vacation, you're all of a sudden you're seeing ads for vacations more. And some of us think our phones are listening to us, and the ads pop up more on their phone, and different things happen, and it reminds you of that because it's top of mind. Or I just know, like, I'd be places, I'll be looking for my kids, maybe at a sporting event, they walk to the bathroom, or at school function, I'm looking around. But when I'm top of mind, when I'm thinking about them and I'm looking for them, like every kid that looks like them, like the back of their head, they're wearing the same hat or jacket. I'm like, is that them? Is that them? Because they're on top of your mind. You're looking for them. Does that make sense? Like when it's top of mind. So the point I'm getting at, same with those people, when say you have a cup of coffee with them or meet with them, the last few months or years since the last time you talked to them or brought your name or real estate top of mind, there's probably been lots of conversations, or they've been around several people or events where people were talking about buying or selling a house, but they didn't think of you because you weren't top of mind. Real estate wasn't top of their thought process. So that same type of mental view of, like, you bought a new car and all of a sudden you see that car everywhere, you're looking for your kids, now everybody looks like your kids or whatever, similar to that mentality. But when you meet with them, now you're top of mind, your real estate's top of mind, you're asking for referrals, now their radar's up, and hopefully for the next few weeks, months, their radar's up. But then it kind of goes down, and then that's when you got to make the connection again, and then it goes up and it goes down. That's why you want to stay top of mind, not just for when they're looking to buy or sell, when those referrals come in. So that's definitely something to think about, of why you are doing it. Another thing is having, now, if you really have someone that gives you referrals, you want to pay them back with maybe a lunch, a dinner, something like that. So of course, so that's why I was keeping like the cost and the time down with the breakfast, or not breakfast, a coffee, and then maybe an actual meal with people, because you're giving them back for their referrals. You're saying, hey, thank you for your referrals, but also in the same aspect, building that relationship with them, explain that you want to sit down and break bread with them, talk with them, enjoy conversation. Could be, longer time because it's a whole meal instead of just a quick cup of coffee, and explaining that to them. You got to repay the reward them for their referrals. Now, you're not supposed to do it as a real estate agent every time you have a closing. Could be considered some type of kickback. But when people give you referrals, you can give them anything. If they give you just a name or someone comes through me, you can't say, hey, someone just bought a house, I made $10,000 on the commission, I'm going to take you out for a $500 dinner. You're not allowed to do that as realtors. But paying them for referrals, not like cash, but giving them a gift, taking them to dinner, that's totally fine, because it doesn't equal 100% business. And we talked about that a while ago, about getting referrals, about paying that back. So the people that are top in your life of referrals, and hopefully these could become friends, relatives, or top people, A+ people. These are the A+ people. I'm not saying you're taking 100 people to dinner, but if you had 20 people, just imagine 20 people that are A+ people in your life that give you 5, 10 referrals a year. 20 people. I'll be very positive about it. 10 referrals a year. That's 200 referrals a year. Say 10% pan out to a sale. That's 20 sales a year. Does that make sense? 20 people that are in your database giving you 10 referrals a year, 200 referrals. I'm just saying 10% pan out to sales. That's 20 sales. So imagine 20 people once a year, twice a year for coffee, for a lunch, 20 sales. Let's say the average commission is $5,000. How much is that? Do the math. 20 sales, $5,000 is $100,000 of commission. I'm just throwing out a number there. $100,000 of possible commission a year from 20 people, 20 lunches or dinners or coffee is a pretty good investment of your time. That's why this referral system and building your business by referrals is so important. The amount of money and time you have to spend to get cold people 20 deals a year, just cold people that haven't even met you, that haven't been referred to you, just buying leads or putting ads or whatever it is so much harder. The amount of time and money, and costs way more money and much more time to get that much of return on. And what I'm trying to say is you could do that now, even if you don't have past clients. You find those special people, you make these relationships and ask them for referrals, show them you're special, make those notes. So lastly, I'll go more about businesses and business mixers and business networking. Why this is a good thing to do is that there's a lot of businesses in your area that you could refer business back and forth to. And a lot of people and businesses don't have marketing skills and don't know what to do with it, especially now with the market and the economy changing. Over the last few years, maybe you've had a personal experience with this, but I know in real estate we have, those landscapers, those carpenters, those painters, those roofers, the concrete guys, the home inspectors, the gutter guys, the whoever that are connected to real estate somehow have been so busy because the economy's been doing well. People have been fixing up their houses. The real estate's going well, but now it's shifting a little bit. And maybe those people that were so busy with everything they need to do are going to have to start thinking about how to get business. Things might slow down for them. So, but it doesn't even need to be in a slower market or a slower economy, but I'm just saying that sometimes could take advantage of that. But reaching out to these people that are, I say more about being connected with real estate somehow, because they kind of connect that, hey, you might be able to send me some business, having buyers, sellers, it's real estate related. homeowners insurance guys, anything connected with real estate. And there's a lot of things connected with real estate, right? So what you can do, and it could be anything like accountants, lawyers, anything, just almost anything, name it. But what you can do is you spend the time to connect with these businesses. And it's something you could do pretty quickly. You could let everybody know within a couple of weeks, like, hey, we're having a business mixer, and just some ideas of some scripts when you're calling in or emailing or texting people, explaining to people like, hey, if this is let's say a homeowners insurance company that I want to reach out to that's in my neighborhood, I might say, if I call them up on the phone, say, hey, John, this is Tony Geraci with Century 21 Homestar. I'm a real estate agent in this market, and I'm trying to bring other businesses and business-minded people and very successful and trustworthy businesses together to brainstorm and try to network with each other and share leads back and forth. We're trying to meet 2 weeks from now. Name a place, name a time. Would love to invite you. Doesn't cost anything. All we're asking for is, I'll just say $10 to help pay for coffee and muffins. So you could, again, any business person that's out there that just says, no, you're not asking to pay to be part of it. So, hey, there's no cost to be part of it. We're just trying to bring it together, but it's costing $10 a person for coffee and muffins. Would you be happy to chip in? But that's not required. And you got to pick a place. I know there's lots of great coffee shops, Panera. I just throw out Panera because I know their coffee is free refills. And a lot of Paneras sometimes have a back room or a section, or let you do reserve an area there. So I sometimes go to Paneras, I see a whole table set up with people that they set up that. So, but pick up a local business that you could go in there, go, listen, I'm bringing other local people in there, and maybe they'll help you. They go, hey, we have other businesses doing things like this. So pick a coffee place. Usually I suggest in the morning before the day starts going, also because it limits your time. Most business networking places or groups meet like early, like 7:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning. They just do it for an hour, hour and a half, because people have to get to their jobs. So it's, and there's an end time. It's like 7:30 to 8:30 or 7 to 8, so they know, get there on time, and there's a hard stop so people know they could leave. Also, you give the place a time. We're going to be out of here before this time. So when you bring those businesses together, when they see that you're taking the effort to bring people together, you're the ringleader, you're the rainmaker, bringing everybody together, you're in control of communication with all of these people. So it's good to go. Like if you have invited to any networking event, it's definitely good to go. It can't hurt to go to these things. But when you're just a member or a guest, you go there, you talk to people, you get set up, and you might share some business, hand out some business cards and think about each other. But when you are in charge of it, now you have a direct connection with everybody to help continue to organize it for the next time. So example, if you had 10 people come, 5 people come, 20 people come, it doesn't matter how many. You're not trying to make this 50 people seminar. This is a small group of local businesses, and you could do this in other markets. You don't have to do just one. You could say every week, I'm going to go in this city, in this neighborhood, have a business event there. I'm going to do another one over here. I'm going to do another one over here. But imagine you have 10 people that show up in different businesses. Then what do? Just like we were talking about having coffee or a lunch, you follow it up with a personal note, say, thank you very much for coming, start a relationship, saying, hey, we'll love your feedback of when we have it a month from now, 2 months from now, a week from now, wherever you want to have it. Do you have a different suggestion, or can you refer other people in other businesses that come in? So you could bring other people in. one suggestion is I suggest to have one person per business. So because when you get two in, you wouldn't want someone to say, hey, I got another realtor friend that would love to be in. Like, no, I'm the realtor of the group, don't want to bring any more realtors in. Same with that. Maybe you keep a list of that so you don't double up the people. And also it keeps them, what I'm referring to, keeps them coming back. So one of the things you can do, and again, there's so many things you can do with this, and I just want to give you ideas. And again, outside of this video today, if you want to sit down and brainstorm more about this, but one of the things you do, you keep people coming. Like say you have a home insurance person there, you have 5 people show up to your first one. Say, listen, would you guys, gals would like to continue on this once a month? Would love to have you. Would you be, you're the first one in the door. You're the core group. Would you continue to come? Because if you don't, then we're going to bring another homeowner insurance company and another painter, another landscaper. We want to keep one person from each business come, but if you don't show up, and I think other networking groups do this, if you don't show up more than once, twice in a row, we're going to fill it in because it's free. We're just going to fill it in with someone else. And would you like to commit to this? And you'll have exclusive VIP status. You're the first one in the door. And again, kind of going back to what I was saying, that you are in charge of this. Now you are the one emailing, texting, calling them, thanking for coming. You're reminding them about the next one. Again, you're top of mind. Now you have all of these people that you're networking with and reminding you're in business with, or in the real estate business, and you're talking to these business people. So when you're just a guest, you come in, you go out, maybe pass out some business cards, but when you're in charge of it, and not to go off like on a tangent, like an example, when my boys were smaller, they're both 21 and 23 now, but when they were smaller, I busy in real estate, but I always made time to help coach their little league teams, their soccer teams, their football teams when they were little. When you could just show up to a practice and go throw the ball around, kick it around, we're not going through major plays and spending hours of my time, prepping. It's just like show up. But what I always used to do, tell the coaches and things, is that, listen, I want to help organize the parents. Can I do that? Because I could, I might miss a practice. When we're at practice, I always told them, listen, I'm in real estate. I might have to take the phone call. I might have to do this. I might have to do that because things emergency, but I'm here to help. So, sometimes I was like the fourth guy. So it's just, hey, I'm just going to show up when I can help. I want to help, but the business I'm in might not do that. But I'm happy to, you tell me when I have to relay messages. I have email campaigns. I have text messages. I'm happy to do that. So what I mean by that, I was in charge of the communication between the parents and the coaches. And guess what? Every text message that went out, every email that went out to the parents had my signature on it. Tony Geraci, Realtor, Broker, Century 21 Home Star, my website, just signatures, subliminal marketing. Because I was in charge of this, honestly, every year, minimum 3 transactions every year, because I organize my kids' sports and the communication with the parents. And they always want to, like, how's Johnny doing? How's this? And then I'm building relationships with them based on their children, of what they're doing in that sport and when the next practice is, and subliminally telling them I'm in real estate. And of course, some of them I would just, once we got the conversation started, now now we're talking real estate all the time. So when you get involved, the main point I'm saying today with this, why you're doing this and why you're organizing the business mixer type things and the networking events, and you're in charge of it, is that you're constantly relaying messages to everybody. You're the ringleader of the group, which keeps you top of mind. And this is something that you can duplicate anywhere. You just don't need one. You could go to another area. You could go to another area. You could do this as many times as you want. You will always find businesses. It could be two people. It doesn't matter how many. You have two people that you're trying to share marketing ideas and things. You go, you look online, Google, a certain city, a certain business, you're going to find so many different ones on there. And this is something you could do today. You could start one today and have coffee with probably 5 people by Friday, and it's Wednesday. And then you're meeting people and getting connected and building a network. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense to what you can do with that. So some of the things, I just wanted you to take away today is inviting those special people in your life that that will refer you and past clients and past business to coffee, taking those people that have given you business, that are referrals, to rewarding them with a lunch or dinner once a year, twice a year, just catching up on them. Remember to always ask questions and listen more than you talk. Always send them personal notes. Try to make it even more personal to them. If you took away a hobby or a thought of what's going on in their life, and that book reference of sending them something, or even sending them an article that you read, or even if you want, you could look up an article, like, hey, this is a resource. So do a little research for them. So maybe you might come across something they like this or they like that, or they're going through some type of thing that's going on in their life. And maybe you find hey, here's a resource for you that I found online, and it's free. It's just a web address or a website or a link. Could be an easy text. There's so many different things that you can do to connect with them on a personal level. And I promise you, if you continue on with this and write those notes in your contact management system and remind yourself when you're talking with these people and connect with them, they will be your rainmakers. They will bring you referrals. They will bring you people, because everybody knows other people. And it's just a matter of time of you connecting with them, then they talk to their database. You could even try to spend that time, that coffee, that lunch, that dinner with people that have such a big sphere, that they know lots of people. They're in a job that knows, or have a career. If you say it's this a person that is just sits at home, doesn't talk to anybody, doesn't have a job that talks to anybody, whatever they do day to day is not, they don't have any friends, relatives, or anything. Maybe that's not the right person to spend the time with, because they don't have any referrals. But someone that is very social, that has a big family, or they're in a job or in a place in their life, or their network of people or their family or friends trust them and respect them in their decisions, that resonates if they are referring you. So pick those people that have that kind of connectivity in their lives. And you never know. It's like buying a lottery ticket. It's kind of like, I don't know, say, if it's just winning, it doesn't matter how much money you win. You pick the one that has 3 numbers compared to the one that has 7 numbers. You're like, the possibility of me just winning, the 3 numbers is probably better than the 7 numbers. If you can make that, if I pick these people that have lots of options and people that they talk to, their network, their job, the things that they're in, they're a salesman too, that they have a whole network. They understand the salesman and the referrals and all of that. That's a better bet of your time and money than spending it with someone that it's kind of like that 7 numbers, like the mega millions on that. But you got to make that judgment of you want to invest your time and your energy in when those people. Again, it doesn't have to be 100 people. I'm talking about 20. Just imagine if it's 20 people. That's we'll say 20 weeks of the year, if you take them out to lunch or dinner or coffee once a year, that's less than, let's say 2 times a month, there's 24. So pick 24. Pick 24 good people. Twice a month, you're going to go to coffee and or lunch or dinner with somebody. And that's how my brain works. I'm like, I want numbers. I want a system. I want to say, okay, 2 people per month for the rest of the year, or just, and then throw it in there. And then you have a budget and you're like, okay, I'm going to budget. I'm going to do 2 networking events twice a year. I'm going to do two personal lunches. That's once a week, right? So it's 4 weeks. I'm going to do a breakfast or a lunch. I'm going to do a networking event the next week. I'm going to do a breakfast or lunch or a coffee here and a networking event. Something that you do once a week. Maybe pick even the same day. You're like, okay, every Monday or every Tuesday, every week is going to be this. That's how my brain works about organizing it. Because I know sometimes when I say these things, it's like, where do I even start? Where do I start? Who do I start with? How often do I do it? How many people should I be doing this with? Is you got to start small. Start with 1, then start with 2, and kind of go with that. So we're getting about the 45-minute mark. Hopefully that gives you enough to think about today, about, some ways of building relationships, things to talk about with people, connecting with people, organizing that a little bit, kind of what I was going through at the end. But again, feel free to call, text, email me anytime. I'll set some time aside for you and we'll go through this, take 10, 15, 20 minutes tops. We'll kind of brainstorm and how to organize this for you in your day, because your days, your weeks, your time, your budget could be totally different than someone else's. So we could try to figure out what's best for you. So that's it. Have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow on Thursday. Have a great day. Bye-bye.